Stupid DIY morphers. You know, why can't it come fully assembled and let me worry about the DNA coding? Oh well. What's next? Connect trans-communicator chip to sector K-2X4B. There you are. Apply with a soldering iron or a sonic device class 9 or above. Lucky me. It's a good thing I found you on the market, isn't it? I was just, Hello and welcome, I'm Sonicguru. Now, when a video game becomes popular, it obviously gets sequels and becomes a series. But what else does it get to ensure the series stays popular, as well as make money for the publishers and developers? Spin-offs!
It's not uncommon for a series to have spin-offs. The two most obvious series to have these are Super Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog. Both have appeared in a variety of spin-offs, racing, party and RPGs. But have also teamed up in Smash Bros. Brawl and the Olympic Games.
And since I'm a Sonic the Hedgehog fan who chose to buy Michael Jackson The Experience instead of Super Mario Galaxy 2, let's talk about Sonic Riders.
Sonic Riders is a racing game for Nintendo GameCube, PlayStation 2, Xbox and PC. It is also the fourth racing game in the Sonic franchise.
Although it may look like an average racing game, nothing is clear-cut as it seems. For starters, there's a story mode.
This game splits the story into two halves, the hero story and Babylon story. Both stories start off differently and eventually overlap. The hero story follows Team Sonic as they join the X-World Grand Prix devised by Eggman to see what he's up to this time, as well as challenging the Babylon Rogues, who escaped with a Chaos Emerald earlier. While the Babylon story follows the Babylon Rogues. These are the new characters that only appear in the Riders games: Jet the Hawk, Stormy Albatross, and Wave the Swallow. They're approached by Eggman, who talks of an ancient treasure of great power hidden within the fabled Babylon Garden, and the only way to find it is with the Chaos Emeralds.
Naturally, I mean, look at all the other times the Chaos Emeralds have been used for something. Great, now I can't see. That's better. Oh, what the fuck?
The Babylon story also includes an epilogue, which expands past the hero story and includes a final boss, which is the Babylon Guardian. I hate to spoil it for everyone, but the ancient treasure of great power turns out to be a magic carpet.
I can't believe I just wasted my time for this piece of junk!
The story's a bit short and very tongue-in-cheek, which is standard for a Sonic game. But let's focus on the main aspect of any game: the gameplay.
To start off, there are three types of characters to choose from: Speed, Power and Fly, much like Sonic Heroes. Speed types are able to ground on rails, Power types can break through obstacles, and Flying types can jump off specific ramps and fly through boost rings, all of which give you more air, which is the fuel source in the game.
Air is a strange choice for a fuel source. But then again, there have been others that are even more weird.
Air is mandatory in this game. Use it for everything: jumping, boosting, drifting, and it will gradually deplete as the race continues. Besides the pre-mentioned abilities, there are other ways to acquire more air: performing tricks, going to pit stops located throughout the course, and rotating the analog stick at certain points, which will bring back unpleasant memories of Mario Party. Before I go any further, I need to mention how you start the race. Instead of a starting position like Mario Kart, you were given freedom to move and give yourself a run-up. But don't run ahead before the countdown finishes, because you'll be met with an electric gate. Time it right and you'll start off at full speed with a full air tank. Jumping and pulling off tricks is a different story as well. While landing on a ramp, hold down the jump button and let go at the end of the ramp. While in the air, you can do tricks by turning the analog stick in any of the 8 directions. The more tricks, the better the rank, which range from C to X. But make sure you land correctly, otherwise you'll be given a poor rank and no air. And if you run out of air, you'll jump off your board and start running, which slows you down.
This is Sonic the Hedgehog. He can run this race in 5 seconds flat. But it is in the rules of the Grand Prix that he must be on the board. Probably the same reason why he doesn't run as fast as at Olympic Games. Or why he's in a car instead of all-stars racing. But still.
The game has several modes of play. Grand Prix, where you race through the 5 of the game's courses in a racing tournament, with the winner getting a large amount of rings. Free race and time trial, where you can select a course and race through it on your own. Story mode, like I mentioned before, and a mission mode where you're given a character and a board and have to complete various objectives. Mission mode objectives range from beating a certain time, destroying certain of enemies, to collecting a bunch of hidden items, which can be quite tricky. Grand Prix and free race can be played multiplayer along with tag and survival. As you might have heard, you can earn rings in the game. During the race, you can level up, which increases your abilities and the air gauge after collecting a certain amount of rings. But if you fall off a course or attacked, which you can do by boosting into someone, you lose all your rings and revert back to level 1. You can also use the rings you've earned at a shop where you can purchase new extreme gears.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that the hoverboards in this game are called extreme gears. Why?
There are a total of 16 tracks and 16 characters to choose from, majority of which need to be unlocked through story mode, Grand Prix, doing missions, or just playing for a certain amount of hours.
Yeah, I played it quite a lot. But with that said, my final thoughts on Sonic Riders.
Overall, I've found Sonic Riders to be quite enjoyable. True, it may not be for everyone, but I can't deny I had fun playing. The story is short but simple, the controls are responsive, and the amount of replay value is as good as ever for a Sega game. I rate this game 7.4 out of 10.
Let's move on to its sequel, Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. Now, despite what other fans may say, I hate Zero Gravity. It took everything that worked in Sonic Riders and threw it away, only to bring in new gameplay gimmicks that either was not as good, or just pissed me off.
Let me get the good points out of the way. 1. They got rid of the running consequence. In Zero Gravity, when you run out of fuel, you just slow down and won't be able to pull off the gravity moves, which I'll get into later. 2. The level design is much better with several shortcuts scattered throughout the courses. Plus the presentation isn't half bad. It's a lot more colourful and detailed, except for 1 or 2 courses. And 3. The music is much better in comparison to the first game. Each theme suits the course it's assigned to, and the main theme, Ungravitify, is pretty good in my opinion.
Now for the bad points. For starters, the controls. Now if you're like me and enjoy Sonic Riders, you'll be using the GameCube pad. I only ever used the Wii Remote controls once, and they were responsive as Sonic and the Secret Rings.
The thing that annoys me the most is that there's no drifting. Instead we have something called gravity control. This allows you to turn tight corners or find shortcuts by suspending you in the air while holding the button. While in the air you can steer into a new direction and relaunch you in that direction. Also, instead of boosting to take a small part of your air, we have the gravity drive. When on a straight path, you hold down the button to send you flying through the air, which is freaking cool. But both of these have 2 major faults. 1, the longer you hold the button, the more gravity points it consumes. Gravity points being a replacement for air. That may sound normal, but your GP gauge drops faster than you think. And 2, the buttons they're assigned to. As you may notice, the gravity control is B, and gravity drive is R. A complete reversal of what they were in Sonic Riders.
And you know what's even better? You have to use gravity control in every race in order to win. Also, while using gravity drive, to fly faster and earn GP, you have to fly into debris. Seriously! In any other racing game, your first instinct is not to fly into debris or anything that obstructs your path. But Zero Gravity begs to differ. How many times have I said gravity now? Huh.
There is also an upgrade system, adding new abilities to your gear as you race, which sounds good in theory, but it goes like this. Once you gain a certain amount of rings, your gear will gain an upgrade. Each gear has from 0 to 3 upgrades. Some upgrades include modifying your extreme gear's look or top speed. These upgrades can range from increased max speed, increased GP gauge, or your character's ability.
That's right. Instead of being able to grind, fly or punch through objects from the get-go, you have to earn enough rings to upgrade your extreme gear in order to do so. And that could be on the second or final lap. First if you're lucky.
Other changes include jumping, which is simplified to just pressing the button instead of holding it, and the overall gameplay is slower. It's not a major change, but it clearly shows.
But I think the biggest disappointment is the story. Like before, the story split into two, Heroes and Babylon, with Babylon having an epilogue.
Heroes follows Team Sonic as they're being chased by robots who have to a meteor, shaped like a rim for some reason, that controls gravity. The robots are owned by MediaTek, and who else should be in charge but Eggman? At the same time, the Babylon Rogues found a similar ring described as the Ark of the Cosmos, and Jet thinks he can use this as a means to beat Sonic in a race. Eventually, both teams meet up at Eggman's base and stop him from building Eggman Land with the power of these rings.
And again, I hate to spoil it, but in the epilogue it's revealed that Babylon Ganon is a spaceship and that the Babylon Rogues are descendants of aliens. What?
In the first game, it said the Babylonians are descendants of genies, hence the magic carpet and all. It's silly, but if I can accept an ancient tribe of echidnas similar to that of a Mayan tribe, then I can accept this. But now, we have to believe that they're aliens.
This is why spin-offs are considered non-canon from the established franchise. Although there is one or two titles that are questionable. So I guess you want to know what my final thoughts are, huh?
I wouldn't go as far as say it's a bad game. The controls are not simple for new players to be able to pick up and play, but as a sequel to Sonic Riders, it's a bit disappointing. A lot of gameplay elements are absent which will alienate fans of the first game. But I will admit, I did find myself getting slightly entertained, and I can see why some fans may prefer Zero Gravity. But my opinion still stands. It's not bad, just disappointing. I rate this game 7.1 out of 10.
And there we go. My very own Chronomorpher. Let's test out communication features. Hello VG Retro, can you hear me?
Ah! Who's that?
Don't worry, it's only me. I'm testing out communication feature on my Morpher.
Why are you speaking to me through my TV?
Well, it's probably the closest thing to it at the moment as a sound system.
Well, go away! I'm trying to watch Thomas the Tank Engine!
What?
Oh, well, forget I said anything!
Well, at least I know it works. What's this? Morphing Grid Receiver Chip. Huh. Well, I'll just take it apart and put it back where it was to go, so let's see. Warning. Failure to install Morphing Grid Receiver Chip before activation will render the chip obsolete. Attempt to disassemble Morpher after activation will disable Morpher permanently. Oh, for